Hey everybody, this is Kyle with attackofthefanboy.com. I am here with Will, and this is Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Both of us have been able to play the game a good amount. I played the beta. I also played at E3, but Will actually got to play the full game. And this is some footage from the multiplayer. So can you kind of talk about your thoughts on the multiplayer so far?
Yeah, I mean, not much has changed since the beta. That beta was a pretty good representation of what Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is going to be. Obviously, they gave people, a nice chunk of that game to look at, even though there wasn't a lot of maps and modes. There were... that's a good representation of what Black Ops 3 is going to be. The new specialist system, the return of the Pick-10 system, the chain-based fluid movement system. Obviously,
Yeah,
the specialists are the big...
Specialists were the big part, and I think there were maybe like 3 or 4 in the beta. I know you were a fan of the bow and arrow. I liked the electric gun.
Yeah.
Did you get to play with any new ones?
I did. I got to play with all of them. I went down the list and played with every single one, used their special weapon, and used their special ability. It's like a one or the other sort of progression system with those guys. I found myself going to the lightning gun. I ended up really starting to like that gun.
That's a good one. It really is. You get a chain reaction off of that, and you feel really good.
So for people who didn't play the beta, the specialist system is something that is like brand new to Call of Duty. This is something that has never been done before for the series. It is, instead of everybody just using a generic soldier, you get a specialist with a special weapon or special ability. So, if you're unclear of like what we're talking about, we're talking about one of the specialists known as the Prophet, whose special weapon is a chain lightning gun that can kill enemies.
Activate after. It's kind of like a kill streak thing.
But
it builds up over time rather than it's not going to reset on you.
Right.
And then you fire it off, and all of a sudden you have this much more powerful weapon. But you're still pretty vulnerable. That was kind of the big concern I think a lot of people had was, is that going to unbalance things? I, as a terrible Call of Duty player, would not get much out of my specialists. So I'd fire them off. I'd maybe get 1 or 2 kills, and then I'd be done. I'd have to start all over again. Somebody that's a little more skilled might get some more mileage out of it, but it's not going to be one of those things that just sways an entire match, at least from what I played in the beta.
It depends. I was wrecking people.
You are much better.
I think the developers were just letting me win. Honestly, when you see at the end of this multiplayer match, I'm Harper. I had 50 kills. I think it's kill confirmed.
Oh wow.
Or something crazy like that. I think they were just being nice. But I was using Prophet, and I was using that chain gun, and I started to get it down. But you are vulnerable, and when you are playing against other players that are good and know how to, or are trying to take you down when you have that that weapon up, it can be kind of hard because you have to get a clean shot off of people, and that same goes for all the specialists pretty much. There are some varying abilities, guns. With those specialists, one guy has a gravity spike which he jumps into and does like a very powerful melee. There's a flamethrower. There's bees. That was the most annoying one. Like one of the guys shoots bees. Swarms of bees. Yeah, I didn't like that. No, it wasn't fun.
Oh, that sounds great. That's my guy.
Yeah, well, it's just one of those things where, kind of annoying. It just felt kind of cheap. I don't know if it will be like that in the regular game or not. There wasn't enough bee action out there to give me a good. But it does suck to get killed by the specialists, right? Whenever you get something like that, because the specialists we're talking about most here, Prophet, the one with the chain gun, you might not even get shot by him, but if you walk up to somebody he's shot recently and they're electrified, it'll chain reaction onto you. So, you know, there are some things that you're going to have to look out for in this new Call of Duty if you are an experienced player. I mean, my takeaway from the specialists, even from the beta, was that they're implemented well and they change things up in a meaningful way, and make the game feel different than it has in recent years. And there you can see right there is a guy running along the wall, which is, you know, the other big core thing that was kind of shown off in the beta and shown off to us when we were at Treyarch. Was that wall running stuff, and a lot of people kind of liken that to Titanfall, and they would be absolutely correct.
Why?
Yeah, they would. Yeah, I don't know where they're getting that comparison from, but
I mean, it
plays better than Titanfall.
Does it play better? It seems like it's a little bit more limited. You're not, and that not saying is a bad thing.
Well, it's just tighter. It's tighter maps that are designed for that, right? These are Call of Duty maps are 3-path maps, right, middle, left, and these maps are like designed specifically for these wall run spots, right? Like that long tunnel is designed for you to jump back and forth. Not everybody's going to do that, but it is certainly cool as fuck when you see somebody do it. I don't think Titanfall's maps were a little bigger.
Well, yeah, they had to fit the Titans. So
yeah, so it wasn't as tight. It didn't feel like it was designed specifically for that, right? They had to cram a lot of different stuff in there that maybe kind of limited their ability to really focus on that movement stuff, as cool as it was. But regardless, I like the new movement in this. You know, Call of Duty's has been catching a lot of flack probably for the last 4 or 5 years. A lot of people don't like Call of Duty just because they think it is, you know, has become so formulaic, so same every year. But the last couple years have been pretty different.
I was one of those. I've talked to you a lot about that, and I dropped out of Call of Duty many years ago and just haven't really looked back. Advanced Warfare seemed to introduce some stuff that kind of intrigued me, but it just wasn't quite enough. But then when I got my hands on with this, you know, I wrote a whole article about my impressions, and it really was just stuff that I'd been asking for, changes that I felt that, you know, really improved the series and made it feel different, which was what I'd been missing multiple years in a row.
I know you were like that, but with Black Ops 3, I think it kind of it definitely appeals to Call of Duty fans like myself, but it also has you know, a broader appeal this time around. This is probably, I mean, I'm going to speak not just about multiplayer right now, but some of the stuff that I saw there. This is probably the biggest, like, most content-rich Call of Duty game that they've ever put out. The multiplayer has, you know, the standard number of maps for launch it for a Call of Duty game, but you know, they've really tweaked some of the. There's a black market system and a whole different level of customization for your characters, which is again what they started with Advanced Warfare, and I think they've really started to change this game in a lot of different ways that might bring like people like you back, or just shooter fans in general who.
Yeah, I mean, just even adding more sci-fi elements, which I think Advanced Warfare started, but.
Oh god, you might have to play Call of Duty this year because the fucking campaign is bananas. It's really good. Is.
Wow. I always thought that the campaign was an afterthought. I didn't even get interested in.
Oh,
except for Modern Warfare.
You don't like the spectacle of Call of Duty campaigns?
I hate it's this Michael Bay. You know,
well, yeah, I mean, it's definitely
set piece.
It's definitely always big moments, right? But the way I think they do I don't think anybody does spectacle better than Call of Duty. But
it's just not my style. But yeah, if you like that stuff,
look at how Harper, he just wrecked everyone. That's me, Harper. Look at the discrepancy there, Kyle. This is ridiculous. I had to ask them. I told them, please stop. You have to start trying. The Q&A people were like. I had 40 kills, 19 deaths, and 31 confirms. Look at the rest of everybody. It's like they've never played the game before.
You taking your Adderall or something? going?
No, I was actually. I
You gonna
mean, I
go
actually
in
had.
OG?
No, they were not trying. It's quite blatantly obvious. But regardless, I can't give any spoilers about the story. But it's a different type of Call of Duty story than what we've seen in recent years. This is not the terrorist has the bomb and you've got to go get him. It is totally different than that.
Okay.
It's absolutely like something that you will scratch your head after playing. So we're getting into the after action stuff here, and this is going to show off, just some of the things that we saw in the beta before. But this is something new with the black market. And instead of doing the advanced supply caches, I don't know how familiar you are with Advanced Warfare, but
not at all.
This year you earn cryptocurrency and you trade it in at the black market, and you earn variations of guns. Now, differences between this and Advanced Warfare is these aren't mods for your gun that change the statistics of the gun, range, fire rate, stuff like that. Those are just camos. So you get common supply drops for 10. I think the rare ones are 30, and you're guaranteed, something, a set piece. Now, you can put together different sets, and we didn't get a set put together, and they didn't tell us what happens, but they said something cool does. I don't know what that means. But, Advanced Warfare did have that as well, where you could unlock armor pieces, and when you had the whole set, you would get XP bonuses. So it could be something similar to that.
Okay. It's mostly cosmetic stuff? It's not going to
Yeah, it's not game changer stuff. No, it's not. I asked them why, because Advanced Warfare did that, and I thought they did it pretty well because they were selling guns. I mean, they weren't selling guns, but they were selling these advanced supply drops, which you could get, cosmetic and, weapon modifications that changed your guns in pretty good ways. A lot of them became very popular, but they did it so well that you didn't really ever notice that in the game, and you could get the best gun for free. So, yeah, Call of Duty's been pretty good about not making it pay to win. Yeah, and they were very adamant about it, because I asked them a couple different times. It's just like, for not just multiplayer, but for zombies and all these other aspects of the game, it's like, does this cost money? And how does it change the game? And they're like, there's nothing in here that's pay to win. So Call of Duty hasn't taken that leap yet. I don't think they need to, but
yeah, they make a good amount of money.
Yeah, this is still a very, very popular series. But I think a lot of people got a chance to see the Choose a Class system in the beta. It is the Pick 10 system. It was introduced in Black Ops 2. It's sort of a created class that allows players to equip up to 5 attachments and an optic for the primary weapon. So you've also got your lethal and tactical grenades, your perks, and you can use that any way you want. So you basically just earn points to spend to unlock different guns, and then you can outfit them any way you want. You also earn said points for these specialists who have different sets of abilities, and everything in this game is unlocked by the points you earn in multiplayer, right? So whatever it is, score streaks, guns, specialists, their weapons, their abilities, it's all unlocked through playing.
Okay.
But here's some of the customization for the specialists themselves, right? You've got head, armor. Nice. Yeah, that stuff is actually kind of cool. There were some neat characters running around. So one of my major concerns with the specialist was, is it just going to be all the same specialists running around? This is kind of how they differentiate that.
Yeah, we had a match in the beta that was all the same character.
Right, yeah, because so you didn't have this customization, but it doesn't look like that when you're playing now because everybody has different customization stuff, which is cool. We had one guy running around, he looked like Daredevil. I swear to God, he looked... Oh, nice. It was interesting. But... yeah, that stuff's cool. I think people are going to like that customization aspect for it. There's also like I don't have any footage of this on there, but there's a weapon paint shop and the gunsmith.
They were pushing that at E3. I think they had a booth with like giant touch screens where you could you could pick a gun and like paint it and do all this weird stuff.
Right, so, and that's, custom paint and custom skins for weapons has been something that Call of Duty players have been buying for years now. And so they like customizing their guns. It seemed like a pretty robust system. I don't think this is. I think they said that they might have some for sale, but you can pretty much make whatever you want. So I don't know what that means. All I know is there was a pretty big like layered editor in there where you could make just about anything you wanted.
Cleaner kills.
SERAPH down.
UAV inbound. Q.
Now, I liked this map in the beta. Were there any like standout maps for you? Anything
There were.
You're just like, this is going to be a new favorite.
Oh, it's probably Nuketown. I didn't get to play Nuketown, but I saw Nuketown, and it is. I'm probably guessing that Nuketown is going to be the fan favorite. It was in Black Ops 2. It was in Black Ops 1. It's just a good map. This was a good map. They're all well designed for the wall running and stuff. Aquarium was a cool map.
Is this the other specialist, by the way?
Yeah, this is the Fireboy.
Pretty nice one.
Yeah, that flamethrower is pretty
UAV on standby.
pretty strong. It's got a good reach. But all the specialists, if you use them right, are pretty powerful. If you use them wrong, they're, worthless. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, the multiplayer stuff's going to have a lot of other features. You've got all the esports stuff. You've got the theater stuff. You've got the COD casting things, and you've got a lot of your popular game modes that come back from previous Call of Duty games. You've got ones that are new for this Black Ops 3. You've got Safeguard. It's a mode where you attack and defend a robot, and then you've got a custom games mode that is pretty sick. You can do all sorts of customizations. It's kind of like Halo, where you can change things in a number of different ways, whether that be how fast kill streaks come down, how fast you die, how much health regen you have, stuff like that. And you can customize and tweak that stuff to your heart's content.
Okay. Did they talk at all about dedicated servers? I know that's been a sticking point for Call of Duty.
It is dedicated servers, I believe. Yeah, I'm almost positive.
I think it was supposed to be. It's just a lot of people were wondering.
So this is another part of the game that's. I mean, this game does have a ton of, like I said, a ton of different things in it. You've got the multiplayer, which we've kind of watched extensively, and most people have played extensively. But the other stuff that comes with this game is a number of different things, kind of like this one. This is a free run mode that, if you're a Call of Duty,
looks like Mirror's Edge.
It felt like Mirror's Edge. It felt like a Mirror's Edge, kind of like time trials. It's just basically doing your wall running through different time trials and trying to get the best times. And you're competing against people. We were competing against each other locally in the room, but I guess you can compete against other people online. But these things kind of reminded me of the old school Call of Duty. They had those speed runs for the target practice. I don't know if you ever played that, but each game has that thing at the beginning where they're like, get through this practice thing as fast as you can. And I just love those. And this has multiple levels, multiple different skill levels that really kind of teach you how to use the movement system in the game.
Yeah.
Which is kind of neat. Other than that, you've got the campaign, which I can't talk about really because most of it would have to do with spoilers. But if you are, a fan of the spectacle of the Call of Duty campaigns, you're going to get that. If you were hoping for a different type of story, maybe for them to kind of try maybe a narrative that they haven't done before.
Yeah, it's not just going to be evil.
It's not just going to be evil Russian guy, go get him. It's not that. It's more along the lines of what Treyarch has done in the past, but even, wilder. Definitely was one that I was like, they said they were having fun looking at people's faces as they finished the game. I was like, yeah, you're right. Some of the stuff in the campaign that sets it apart, not just with the story stuff that I said it was a little bit different. It's obviously got the co-op and the zombies and stuff like that. But also within the campaign, there's a lot of the customization stuff that you saw from multiplayer, right? You can change your character's sex. You can change the way they look in the cutscenes, which is pretty much a first for Call of Duty. But you can also
be a female soldier.
Yeah, it's not just you're this guy. You're not. It's more personal, right? And there's a hub for these soldiers, whether you're in co-op. If you're in co-op, you all get together and you go into a briefing room and go to the mission you want to go to and all that stuff. But it's also got this hub where you can look at all your achievements that you've earned. You can change these things called cyber cores, which is basically a unique set of abilities for each character, and you can upgrade these different skill trees as you progress through the game. So it's totally not linear shooter that it has been. It's more like learn how to use these cybernetic characters that all have different moves if you want to customize and play as a person who can go speed up real quick, get behind enemies, shoot them while time is slow. You can totally do that. Or you can play from afar and be the type of player who blows them up. Or you can be the type of player who hijacks turrets and turns them on the enemy. Or you can...
it's almost RPG style elements into the shooter.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I was like, wow, this is like something that they've never done before. And Treyarch's kind of like tried some different things. Like with Black Ops 2, they tried some like RTS elements, and they threw that into the equation. But I don't know if that stuff went over very well. But yeah, the Cybercore wheel stuff is really fun. You can use different abilities. Pretty much has a radial wheel, just like you said, like an RPG. And in that safe house, you can also change, your character's outfit. You can change. You can do the gunsmith stuff in there. You can do the paint stuff in there. Obviously, like I said, the collectibles. Access a training simulator, which is like a horde mode, right? So that's why I keep saying there's so much shit in this game, Kyle. So there's a training simulator within this safe house hub, which houses all the gunsmith stuff and the cyber cores and all your customization and all that shit.
But it plays like Firefighter Horde. Yeah,
in that virtual reality setting.
Can you bring friends in? Is that part co-op?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's an impressive package all the way around. When I say that's the biggest thing that I think they've ever put out, it's without a doubt. There's so much stuff between the co-op, between the regular story, between the horde mode stuff, the dead ops stuff, the multiplayer stuff. It's like, and then all the customization and unlocks and all the stuff you get from the normal game. It's like, what if you were I don't know many people that have been asking Call of Duty to provide more value to them, because most people who play it a lot. Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure, but they went all out on this one. I wanted to play it again. I did play through it again, but once you finish that campaign, you do get. Treyarch is known for giving people, their fans, something extra when they unlock and finish the game. That's how zombies started, right? Yeah. And they haven't necessarily given something entirely new, but there's a mode called Nightmare Mode where the entire single player campaign can be played with zombies instead of the enemies.
Really?
Yeah. So
that's interesting.
That's a whole nother campaign. It's got a whole different set of narrative. It is like this alternate universe. They do it weirdly. The characters that are actually supposed to be speaking in the game, or that they speak in the main storyline, don't speak, and somebody narrates over it like a demon. It is very weird. Like, it is
It's more lighthearted. It's played.
I don't know that it's lighthearted, and I'm not here to pass judgment on it at this point.
Okay.
But it is
So all of the enemies
interesting.
and all of your friends are. It's just everyone is a zombie except for you.
Yeah, like all the enemies would be, because there's like robot enemies in this game. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's like Terminator in some spots, and it's swarms of robots coming at you, and they're just kind of replaced by the zombie horde. And then you've got parts where it's mixed in. They're mixed in together, and things are fighting each other. It's actually kind of crazy.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. So that unlocks after you finish the single player.
Right, and you can, like I said, you can do both the single player normal story mode and single player nightmare mode. You can do co-op single player and co-op nightmare. So you've got that. You've got your traditional zombies mode as well. So that's the thing that's it's set in the 1940s. It's got the Hollywood talent attached to it. This new zombies mode, like I said, this isn't a judgment passing video, but feels like a return to form for that. Just because I don't think Sledgehammer was quite as competent in doing that.
Yeah, I remember hearing a lot of people were a little upset about the last zombies mode. So this one seems to take it back to its roots. Wow,
yeah,
taking it in a whole new direction with like John Malkovich or something. I don't remember who's in that thing.
I don't know off the top of my head. I don't. The guy from Hellboy and Sons of Anarchy.
Ron Perlman?
Yep.
Wow. Yeah,
I think Roller Girl's in there.
Roller Girl? Oh,
Heather Graham.
Heather Graham.
Yep.
I think she was in that. That
sounds
right.
good. Yeah, we are prepared, folks, when we do a video. Regardless,
there's a lot of info for this game.
No, there is. There really is a lot of stuff to keep straight. But yeah, the zombies stuff is multi-layered. Plenty of puzzles. We were getting there when we were playing it. We were getting starting to kind of. You can sit there. With Treyarch Zombies modes, you can sit there and say, well, I'm going to try and get to level 30. And you can do that. You can keep doing that and trying to get to level 30 all you want. But there's also another layer of, there are secrets and, things to unlock in Treyarch's best work in that part of the game, especially in Black Ops 2. So this one seems like it has a lot of that stuff. It adds, this beast that you have to transform into, and you can find relics, and you take them to a ritual ground, and demons come. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
If it does sound insane, it's because there's so much going on in there that it's just nuts. It's not just boarding up windows anymore. So yeah, there's a ton of stuff in Call of Duty Black Ops 3. There's also another Easter egg in there for Dead Ops again, which is something that they put in the game previously, though this time around, instead of it just being a top-down shooter, kind of arcade-style shooter, where you're fending off zombies, it transitions into a first-person shooter where you're just kind of mowing these zombies down in an arcade fashion. And that's, you could spend hours alone just playing that game. So the number of different types of things you can do in this game, I mean, obviously they all boil back down to first-person shooters, but there's so many different game modes and so many different things to play.
Yeah, I mean, well, they had extra time, didn't they? This was the first one.
And that's a very good
Treyarch
point.
has had 2 years for.
Yeah, this is the first one that they've had 2 years for since World at War.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
So I mean, yeah, that's it. But that's a really good sign. I mean, it shows that this is definitely keeping this an annual franchise. I'm not a huge fan, but shopping it around the way that they are, having these 3 developers and giving them more time now seems to be really, really helping.
Yeah, it is helping, but they have more than 3 developers working on it. They got Raven, and they've got Infinity Ward, and they've got Sledgehammer, and they've got the people who help out on the map packs and Treyarch.
Yeah, I just mean they have the 3 main.
But yeah, I think
the Infinity Ward, Treyarch, and Sledgehammer.
We'll have to wait and see if next year's Call of Duty that comes from Infinity Ward is as packed the gills as Black Ops, or if Treyarch just kind of went the extra mile with this stuff, you know, because there's so much in there. And then on the PC version with the mods, you get all that stuff plus the ability to mod maps and maybe mod in your own sort of zombie stories and stuff. Who knows?
All right, well, that was a pretty extensive rundown of what Call of Duty Black Ops 3 should contain. You know, it seems like you said, Call of Duty fans should be pretty impressed. So thanks for joining me, Will. This is Kyle with Attack of the Fanboy. Keep an eye on the site for our eventual review and other coverage.